Quick story. A girl and a guy met and fall for each other. They both love music, so decide to work together. And they were pretty good at it. Now on the surface, everything looked perfect. But oh, the stress of the city. So they decided otherwise. They packed up and left for the countryside. And that's where we meet this family, raising their children, growing their own food and their business together, on a quest to find a new normal and a new sense of happiness. And if you're looking for the same thing, then join us and we can unpack this thing called life together. Where are my manners? Let me introduce myself. I'm Shamel Olwago, my husband's Amondi Olwago, and together we are Nile Ochi. And this is Z-Quest.
Alright, if we could live longer, like up to 200 years old, do you think that we would be better as a result? Better people?
My initial thought is crumbly, crouchy, hot mess.
Oh, so yeah, but hold on. If you live up to 200 years old, I guess physically as well, not just.
There comes a time.
Not just you being 200 years old or decrepit, and at the same, like you get it, your body's getting older at the same speed that it would if you live up to 100 years old. It's not.
So
I'm not talking about. So,
do you look like how we age now? So by the time I'm 100, I just look like I'm 100, and then the time I'm 200, I just look like another 100 years older than that.
No. What would you mean? No.
Well, this is the thing.
No. What I'm saying is that 200 years old.
I'm going to have to do a little bit of research. What is the oldest person on Earth?
I think.
Not now, but ever.
125 years old, something like that. But some people say that some people lived up to 100 and some like 50 years old or 40
I'm sure they did.
Am I being exaggerating?
No, I'm sure they did. But the thing is,
yeah, but you don't have any proof, so you can't claim. Like they probably don't even know, when they were born. So that's like I'm saying.
Do you know
now,
what?
It's like now I'm saying now I'm actually 60 years old, and then I'm like, they're like, nah, stop what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
You know what? Everybody thinks that nobody knows people don't know their age before they were writing it down, and that the Western society just came and civilized everyone by making them write every goddamn thing down. But people were keeping some sort of record about age before this.
Or not.
Listen, but is it the most important thing? They know generally. Look, it's like a kid. Generally, well, you're about, it's like a toddler. You're about a toddler.
Yeah, but
you're about a teenager. You're about 20.
Some kids, they might be like 4 years old, but they're like very small. So
well, then I tell you what,
they appear like they look like they're 2 years old.
Well, then you're a long-term toddler. It is what it is. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but back to what we're talking about here.
Okay, no, the reason why I brought that up is because I was saying to myself, like, when people grow old, yeah, I've seen some amazing-looking 100-year-olds. Yeah. Ones that are like, oh my God, you look 80.
True. Yeah.
Oh my Lord, you look 80. Yeah. And then I've seen other ones who've been like around 117, 115. They start growing into themselves. I can't explain it more than that.
Yeah, I understand.
But they look like an ingrown human.
Yeah, I understand. But we're talking about...
It's like a going back to a fetal position thing. So I can only imagine if you put another 80 years on that to reach to 200.
Well, let's say that your body is not growing that fast, so maybe you're a teenager at 40 years old. I don't know, like physically speaking.
Okay, that sounds nice.
Maybe you're a teenager at between 30 and 40 years old. That's your teenage age, physiologically speaking.
Okay, that would make so much more sense to the life we lead.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that. So by the time
teenage pregnancy would be down, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So obviously, our mind is actually 40 years old. It's just that physically, you're able to carry yourself all the way up to 200 years old. Now, it's, what we reach this level of, I wouldn't say health, but maybe technology or medicine.
Whatever it may be,
whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is like, maybe someone that's 90 years old now, and the way they look or feel physically, well, you'll feel that way when you're 190 years old, right?
Okay.
And what would that mean in humans? What we know today, would we be wiser? Would we be more selfish? Because we're like, you know what? I can do so much more now. And obviously, we know that when you compare from one generation to another, there's things that one generation were able to do just because they were there before, and then there's other things that they were not.
I would move out of Europe immediately. Too sweet.
Why? Why is that?
Because they treat their old like trash.
Well,
Generally speaking.
I guess, but...
So you've got no business being over 90. No, you got no business being
but you know what? Bear
80
in mind,
here.
But bear in
Once
mind,
you're 85, leave for other lands because unless your family is totally like unorthodox to the way things are here, you're in for stranger things.
But bear in mind, you would yes, you would get old, because you're 190 years old.
Yeah.
But then
so what you're saying is by the time you're 100, you probably have the physicality of a 70-year-old. 50? What?
Yeah.
Don't play games. That's nice.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that. What would that mean? What do you think? Because look, right now
I don't think it would mean much.
The way
I
we
think
live our lives right now, if you think about it, the way we live our lives, we're like, midlife. So some people go through midlife crisis as a result, and it's like anything between 40 and 55 years old, people experience different things. So some people, they don't go through this type of crisis, but some do. So because they're like, wow, I've done half of my life and I'm not really happy with the first half. What I've done so far, which means like you get way more time. Maybe we get a bit older. Whoa, maybe we'll be because it's like almost like a
I understand
immortality.
That. Yeah,
so like I get it. If you say 1,000 years is like being immortal, 500 years would be semi-immortal, and then you'd be like a quarter immortal. That's how I would feel. It's like almost like you got two lifetimes.
Aquamortal. Okay, so, I get it. I feel it.
So you got two lifetimes, and what would that mean? What would people become even like? Would technology be more advanced as a result because you had time to figure out maybe what Einstein couldn't figure out?
Because you had more time to study it.
Yeah, you had more time to study it.
The thing is, more time, more problems with humans, because sometimes we could be indecisive. So I could see it being a thing where it's like, look, I'm not going to school until I'm a clean 25. Okay. Though it might be a good thing.
So what you would say is like people
what's happening with your mental though? Your mental ability grow at the same rate as your physical ability, or would that be like now?
Let's not even use the word growing. Let's say that it's the resistance your body has.
Okay.
To be able to
age in process to the aging process.
Resilient to the aging process throughout the time.
Okay, but your mind is still your age.
Your mind is still your age, because one things we know that make us age, it's gravity was physical in this world. So our body gets run down as we grow older.
Even if our minds are the sharpest they've ever been.
You're fighting gravity on all sort of things, environmental things. That's why if your environment is not that great, then it's going to have an effect on your body. On your body. So that being said, your mind, it's actually the evolution of your mind remains the same. So even if you project this concept on being 1,000 years old, so then you be 1,000 year old in your mind, but physically, obviously, well, you'll be 1,000 year old, but then, you know, you did, let's say you...
I would still have children at the same age.
Yeah.
Because the bounce back, time for me to bounce back would be longer. My body would have more time to bounce back.
But then, why?
You see what I'm saying? Because like now, you're a woman's reproductive time, yeah? A biological clock is from the time she's 18 years old. Well, I would say it's younger than that, but nobody needs to be having kids too young because the setbacks in society for it. But on a physical level, as soon as you can start having kids until as soon as you have your menopause is the time that you are physically supposed to have kids. However, if you have it towards the end of that time, you've got less time to bounce back. But if our body's more resilient to the aging process, so there we have more resilience to the bounce back process. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it would make sense. Yeah.
So you would be able to.
Hold on, not necessarily.
You'd be able to have more kids.
What's that make you more resilient to the bounce back process? Because
a whole part of the bounce back process, I feel, is like no one tells you this when you're gonna have kids, but it's traumatic on your body.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it is.
So if your body is more durable to, you know, the wears and tears of life, then it should be more durable to the wears and tears of delivering a child.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah.
I would have more kids, number one, then.
Yeah.
I would, though I got 3, I would have more. I'd have about 3 more. I'd have 3 more.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'd still get married at the same age, just so I could be like, it's our 50-year anniversary, and and I'd still be popping. You know what I mean?
On the 50-year anniversary.
right.
Yeah.
And then what? I wouldn't go to school. I wouldn't go to school until I was way early. Until I was way later.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then I would probably get the whole of school done in 5 years.
But do you think
rather than dragging it out and dragging it through this time where I didn't even care for it?
But that is the point of this philosophical question. It's, would people, as a result, then take more time, be more laid back about things, or would they remain the same but trying to turn it up?
Some people are going to remain.
I can do so much more now, but
if I look at it from an ecological level, from an economical level, I think that society, i.e. the powers that be, the government, all those things, the policies would be that you do everything at the time as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So they will kind of rush your life up until the point of where you're out of school, and then have you working for way more years. We'll have 150-year-olds on factory lines. That's what I'm trying to say.
You're saying that this would leave more space for exploitation.
Yes.
So like, oh wow, we can make so much more money now.
Exactly.
So, because at the end of the day,
people would see that
age at 130 years old.
Oh, you can forget about 65.
It wouldn't be proportional. Like, okay, well, it wouldn't even be proportional. Like, okay, retirement age at 60, which means you'll be retired at under 20 years old. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have now. I don't know if you live an average of 20 years after your retirement age, which is 80 years old, which you die at 80 years old. That's an average.
Yeah.
It means that now you have 40 years of retirement.
Yes.
In average, which means that, do you think people will stick to this?
They're sticking to it.
They'll be like, oh no, you're going to keep them 20 years.
They're going to push it right back.
Until 100 and
you're going to get that pushed right back.
All right.
You're going to but the thing is, there would always be, with that type of situation, there'd be such an opportunity to make society better.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that it would be taken, because people, and the way that society is driven at times would be too focused on the economical benefits of it.
So,
and
okay,
I'd open up a diaper business tomorrow.
So you don't think we would be better people as a result? Do you think that you don't think we will, like, do you think we would be wiser? Because what makes us so much in a race, it's the fact that life go quickly and you have to make money now and not later, because look, by the time you reach this age, it's the way people think sometimes, well, it's too late. If you haven't made money, then there's
it
no
depends
much
on
more.
your way of thinking. I don't think like that personally. I think that you never, if you want something, you never want it less because you got older.
True. I don't think like that either.
I think that the older you are, the more focused and driven you have the capability to be, actually. Yeah. Hence why lots of people who are older and say go back to university or college or whatever,
sure.
They just breeze through it. Breeze through.
So what you're saying is that people,
I think it's just
not necessarily
the thing. It would depend on how society is set up. If society makes you go to school at a certain age,
I'm trying to find out,
because I would say don't start school until 13.
But I'm trying to find out, would that change fundamentally how people view life and set up society?
I think it should, but I don't think it would, because people would see too much of an opportunity to make people work longer.
Do you think it's not impacted by how long we live?
Ever so.
But not enough.
But not enough. Like, look what they did already. At the end of the day, back in like 18th century, you don't even have to go back that long, 19th century, the 1900s, people's life expectation was dramatically lower than it is now. Yeah. But you know what? Go back earlier than that, because a lot of the war changed a lot of that, brought that number down. But say the 1800s, people were dying at like, if you were 60, you were old.
It's true.
If you were 60, you were just dusty old. Yeah. Now 60 is popping. Yeah. You're 60 right now, you're popping. Prime age. Yeah. Prime age to get that money. Prime age to just...
This is the thing. This is only applicable to the previous generation. I mean, the generation before us, because...
I don't know what the future holds for us at 60.
Yeah, because at 60, I mean, you're supposed to already be settled when it comes to financial...
well, that was the constraints that they set for themselves and then set for their children, but it doesn't mean that that's what this generation's going through.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think that by 60, a lot of us won't have the money they think they're going to have.
Unless something drastic happens and things turn around.
Well, you would need it in order for that to happen, that the richer you get, the more tax you have to pay, and this tax would have to be transparent. This money, those amount of money that actually the state holds has to show transparency in where it's distributed.
Because then it would have to be focused back on distributing to the younger generation immediately.
So that you know.
So they would feed the. It would feed the machine.
Because we have like at the moment. I mean, specifically in France, we have like an opposite mechanism, which like the younger generation is supposed to pay for the retirement of the older generations, which to me is a bit backwards. Because it means that if the new generation is there's not as much of
them working,
then all of a sudden you have a problem. Because
how we have a problem.
Like we have a problem, but it's like it should be probably the opposite, which means the older generations pay.
But then everybody would be paying for themselves, and who would pay for the older generation's retirement?
No, I mean, it's too late, but the idea would be...
We'd have to press reset.
We'd have to press
Which
reset.
means if a reset got pressed...
I don't think any generation wants to press reset.
Do you know what? Our generation has been through enough, but I've got a feeling that they're going to give us some more. So if you want to press reset, now would be the time. If it would mean that the situation would be fixed for the time of my children's generation taking their retirement, then fine, do it.
Yeah. Because now... it's like even if people live longer,
What is there?
We actually have.
What's there up there for two? What does past 100 look like?
Yeah.
If
you got 150 years to go.
Right. So imagine then you get a job. Say you get a job. It's not your dream job, but it's paying the bills. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward. You're like, maybe I'll work here for another 10 years, 20 years. People wouldn't be looking like that. People think maybe I'll work here for another 30 years, 40 years.
Yeah. Or not. It might be the exact same. People are like, nah, you can't work more than 5 years.
I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about the ideal setup. For me, I'm thinking children don't start school until 13. Okay, hear me out. Children don't start school until 13. Children who are over 10 help the elderly. Yeah. And when I mean the elderly, I'm talking 100 and up.
Yeah.
With childcare. Okay? So automatically you reach 100, you stop working in whatever other job you've got unless it's really serving society on a tax basis level.
Yeah. So you're saying
start doing childcare straight up and down so that the generation who are working don't have to worry about childcare.
Do you know what? You would actually, when you think about it, potentially double the population on Earth.
Yes.
If it's 2 lifetimes now you have. Because obviously...
Do you think that the world would get too charged and...
I think people as a result will probably end up to kill up more people because they're like, listen, there's too many of us, and I think
they already think there's too many of us.
People will probably rationalize things like you live up to hundreds. Oh, so why he died? You know, he did 100 still. I'd be like, but it was a bit young.
Gone too soon. But it would be gone too soon.
Exactly, in proportion to what it is.
But the things we bellyache about today.
That's only a physical being. So don't forget our minds is not that edge.
Past 100, you're not killing me.
Like they
if my body's young at 100, you're not killing me at 100.
No one.
Because by that time I've had a century to see all of the tricks in the book. You think you're coming for me? You're not coming for me.
But as a result, probably more people would just kill people because there are things that they won't probably be so.
But then the whole idea.
Be like, oh, look, the average, like, you know, the average like middle age is 100 years old, and they'll be like, oh, you know, the life expectancy, you know, is 170 years old. So look,
the thing is, most times when people, if I'm looking at the main reasons, group reasons why people kill other people, is because somewhere down the line someone was unhappy with life. Yeah. Whether they were unhappy with the way they were treated, or the way that, you know, they were being treated, or the way that they felt someone else put a constraint on their life. Yeah. But don't you think that living that long would open up so many more opportunities to people? There'd be less killing. Because most of that is pressure, because there's a time ticking. You know what I mean? Like,
but you got to bear in mind there would be way more of us, which more people, less resources for the amount of people, because the way we handle resources.
Well, we would handle resources differently.
Do you think so? Do you think that would come before?
I would definitely look to handle resources differently. Number one, some of us have to start farming again so we can all eat.
Do you think we would ration ourselves?
I think that what would happen is you would have to have age-based jobs. You see what I'm saying? So certain ages would work certain jobs, because, like I said, over 100, childcare. Yeah. Who's your assistant supporter? A 10 to 13-year-old. They're perfect age. They're young enough to tell you the coos about a little baby and no little common sense, and go and run and catch you and go get this, go get that for me, go get this for me. Yeah. And you've got the wisdom enough to tell them, okay. And you get through the day together, pass a nice day. Yeah. They'll keep you what's going on whatever new TikTok thing they got going on.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the babies get taken care of, and everyone who's working don't have to worry about nothing like that. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
But then if it's anything like the world we're living in today,
but it wouldn't be, because the pressure would be taken off.
You would have a problem, definitely. So
I think the pressure would be taken off, because
the pressure is due to people thinking, my life in average going to be maybe 80 years old, 85 years old if I'm lucky.
A lot of children, by the time you are 16, even before 16, by the time you're 13 or 14, you're supposed to know exactly what you want to do and what you want to be, so that you can start working towards that trajectory.
So you think that...
But if you start school at 13, guaranteed most people know how to read.
Yeah.
Already they've learnt it. Just because life is just... come on, think about the things you want to do at 13.
Yeah.
If you're not going to school, what you want to do.
Yeah.
Between the computer games, going out with your parents and going up and down and going wherever with your friends, it's going to become a necessity to read. It would be a thing that children read, like how they learn how to walk.
Do you think that we can potentially live up to 200 years old? Do you think that will happen?
I think it's a bad idea.
Why?
I think it's a bad idea because of how badly we're doing with the little 100 years we've been given.
So for our world right now, as we know it, would be a terrible idea.
Yeah, because we're just... The people who I find live up to there seem to have this type of... I don't know what they did when they were younger. For all I know, they were just doing all sorts of crimes. But they just seem to have this ethos that a lot of us, I don't think, even have installed in us to be able to make it that long.
Do you think so?
Got a lot of growth to do before we make it there.
But you don't think that
they look at life very simplistically? I don't know if it's by that time.
I think it's by that time, but I'm thinking that do you think that it is possible to reach this age today with the technology that we have and
200 you say?
Yeah,
200.
Take into I mean, you can check the oldest person in the world. I think she was French actually. I think she's called Jeanne Calment, or it's one of them. You know, one of them person. I don't know if she was French or another nationality. But it's around 125 years old, 24 years old, 27. I don't know, but that's not far off. I mean, yes, you got still 70 years to go, but that's some people don't even make it to 70. So, and we still think that they died young. So what do you think?
Is Jean Calment?
Is that what was her age when she died? Jeanne Calment, it's still her?
Apparemment. Mais
how old was she?
Attends.
What's her date of birth?
1875.
Wow. Okay. And then how old was she? I mean, what
1997 she died.
Yeah.
She reached up to 122.
Quel âge? 122 ans?
Yeah. 122 years old and 5 months and 14 days.
Wow. Very precise.
They had to, at this point, I'm counting days.
There you go. It's taken.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'll count my days.
56 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Sean.
Is she still the eldest
and she smoked
person?
Heavy.
And then is she still the eldest person?
Apparently, she's still the oldest person.
Elle est toujours la plus âgée?
Ouais. Mais attends là. C'est qui ça?
Il y a d'autres personnes.
Yeah.
I think there's other people.
No. The oldest people ever. 122. Yeah, she's the oldest ever
so
still.
Who's second? From what?
A man.
Country? How old was he?
Called Jaria man. Kimura.
Yeah.
Kimura?
I don't know.
Japanese. Only died in 2013.
Sorry, okay.
116 years old.
116?
Yeah.
So she kind of like
she's way...
She outlived
no. There's another one. Sarah. Oh, do you know what? Look, they've got the thing. The top 3 are all women.
Oh, wow.
There must be... I wonder if they all had children.
Oh, they probably did.
One was French. There's lots of Japanese here.
Is it?
Lots.
Wow.
Lots.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, hella Japanese. There must be something about the way of life down there.
Yeah.
Hang on, one of them's still alive.
Really?
One of them is still alive here.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Which one?
Kane.
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah.
She's called Kane.
Other 17 years old.
Yeah, Kane Tanaka.
Wow.
117 and counting. Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
And
There's
then
another one alive as well. Hello.
Which one?
Lucille, another woman.
Yeah.
Lucille Randon. She's
French.
116.
She's French as well.
Lots of them. Hey.
What's
I'm not
that?
being funny, but oh no. No.
Wow.
There's something wrong here.
What's that?
There's a you know, I see there's a pattern in numbers, right? I don't know what happened. Okay.
There's a year.
There's a year.
Yeah, a particular year.
Look at this.
What year? What year is that?
There's a year going on.
What's the year?
114 seems to be a certain age that a lot of them go
Yeah.
if they live up to 100. It's like once you pass 100,
You got another 20 years.
you got another 20.
Yeah, it's true.
Or like you got at least
well,
a 10.
I think we can explain that by your body type has a way, I don't know, maybe on a cellular level to regenerate themselves probably better than the average. It's probably why
It's possible.
by the time you reach 100 years old, you one of those people with that type of body.
It's possible, but a lot of them
and
were
as a result, you can really.
a lot of them were born in the late 1800s. Now, I know that makes sense because obviously if you were born in the late 1800s, that would make you whatever. But what was going on around about those times where people felt like, you know what, I'm going to live this long? Despite the 2 wars.
But you know what? I guess if you survive 2 world wars,
And Japan.
I think that you probably like, you know what, I'm not dying. Well, plain simple. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen it all.
The defiance
I'm
of it all.
Sorry, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna, stay here for a while.
I'd like to know how many of them are married. There's only 1, 2,
3,
3, 4,
5.
5. 5 out of 100 are males.
Yeah, but that you know why though?
Why?
Because it's,
The male life expectancy is lower than a woman's.
Yeah, it's not because they're trying to find out scientifically why, but there's no look at the life. I mean, as much as there is privilege for men, at the same time,
It doesn't come without its dangers.
You got to go to work. You had to go through those wars. There's a lot of other things.
There was lots of things back then that they had to do.
And the importance
So do you reckon men will live
is lower than women?
Back then as well,
Back
definitely.
then I'm talking about,
What do you think about now? Do you think men's life expectancy is going to be higher?
Yeah, much higher than what it used to be, because it's what's expected of a man is not what it used to be.
Do you think that what's
And
expected?
There's a direct correlation about life expectancy and
What's expected of you.
You expect your lifestyle.
Yes.
If you're a soldier, I'm sure that if you, in average, life expectancy of a soldier is way lower than the average because of the nature of the job. Yeah, because there's a war, you got to go and fight. So how many you got killed?
True.
So if you take on 100 years,
especially
span,
considering from the 1800s up until now,
of course,
there was like major wars,
of course,
all sorts of wars.
Exactly.
I know there was the two main world wars, like, but there was plenty other wars in between.
Whether you're French or you're
there was
English,
wars in Europe, there was wars in the Arab nations, there was wars in Africa, there was wars. Yeah. There were wars in hardcore. Yeah. There were wars in Asia.
And then there was a lot of factory work as well.
Lots of factory work.
Being a miner as well.
Yeah. There was the Industrial Revolution finishing up.
Yeah. So I think it contributes. All of this contribute to how long your life expectancy is going to be.
So do you think now men's life expectancy is going to be longer?
I think it's not necessarily going to be longer, but I think it's going to be more even. So the difference you had between men and women, it probably it is not going to be there anymore.
I'm going to see what...
So much less. And we know that we have shortened our life expectancy considerably now with what's going on in the world with pollution, the climate and stuff like that.
Well, they're saying for the USA, the men's life expectancy is an average of 76.1 years.
Yeah. What about women then? Go on. And bear in mind, this is data that's based off of what we knew back then in the past. So you're talking about men that already lived, and then you're calculating the age, in which age are they actually dying at the moment. You know what I mean? And then you're making an average off of that, which means you can't calculate what's to come.
No, you can't.
Because you don't know.
You just don't know. You're just going to have to just take new data in and keep it moving.
To kind of even out or what age men and women
okay, so I'm saying the life expectancy globally is 72 years.
Okay.
The average life expectancy globally is
in the world, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the healthy life expectancy, like how long will you be healthy for until you start getting sick, is 63.3. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Like up until then you're gonna start getting something sick on you.
Yeah, I believe that in Occidental country, because of our lifestyle, we know we don't have the ability to be healthy for as long as maybe what people consider as a third world country. Why? Because if you're from one of those countries, not I personally think they're third world, but that's the name that we like to give them. So if you're from those world, I believe that once you pass a certain threshold,
you're in it for the long run.
You're there because you have a great health. You were able because
I have family
over here. We kind of like a lot of us are kept alive.
True.
You know, because we have such a bad lifestyle when it comes to our approach to food and all sort of things. And do
you think our life expectancy will drop dramatically because of the life that we're living now?
Certain stuff, yeah. And I think eventually it is possible that it does.
Like our generation, do you think our life expectancy is going to be much lower?
Yeah, it is possible. However,
yeah, I can see that happening
because there's we're getting more aware and conscious about things. We may able to kind of
negate that
and change the.
Because I'm looking at everything that came around our generation. Yeah, look, we got McDonald's.
Yeah.
Burger King, KFC.
Yeah.
That was like our years. Before then, I still remember when it was a treat.
But you know what?
We were we went from treat to like lunchtime.
Well, that wasn't even the worst. I mean, I think the worst was the way
plastic use.
Food. Well, beside this, it was
microwave food.
No, but even if you talk just about the food alone, the glyphosate.
Yeah.
The way
the food was farmed.
They needed to farm. Using monoculture, and how that caused them to use more pesticide and herbicides.
You reckon that our generation got the brunt of it?
This was prime.
Yeah.
And we were kids. And so there was no such thing as organic. Organic, it's coming now, and I think back in the day before they used so much
pesticides and insecticides
and all that, and herbicide. Then they were probably organic grown food, but they didn't need to call it organic. But then now we need to call it organic because we have realized and we're well aware that this is a problem for our health. And these same foods are affecting our parents' generation now.
True. Because they start.
Perhaps we have enough time for our bodies, for ourselves to change that. But
so that we don't,
So we don't, But
because if my fear is that if we don't, then we're just gonna we're gonna lower that by at least 10 years.
Or more.
That would be tragic.
It is tragic as it is, because you see already a lot of people from the previous generations. I mean, our parents' generations are already suffering from that.
That's true.
And then let alone the pollution, then that's another problem.
Yeah, but it's something that is going to impact life expectancy.
Absolutely. But we already aware of this problem. So I think the awareness alone can change the donut.
I think so too.
So I think that's.
I think so too. But sometimes we're a bit slow to act, and until things happen, we don't do anything about it.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of saying, that looks like it's heading for a cliff.
Absolutely,
we'll just ride until a couple people fall off, and then we'll be like, we won't go that way anymore. In 10 years. And then
it's always a delay,
Too much of a delay.
Yeah.
Too much of a delay. I don't think it's a good idea though. I still don't think I think that there'll be lots of wisdom to hand down, but that would be only useful if you're talking to a generation who is willing to listen. And I'm not talking about our generation or millennials. I'm talking about the older ones.
So
do you really think they're going to be out here listening to their parents?
To live up to 200 years old, yeah?
Yeah.
So you don't think it's a good idea?
If their parents were still around, do you think that they'd be listening to them? No.
No. Well, they probably think they would think
they'd be like, no, sit down. You don't know what you're talking about, Dad. It would be that type of feel.
Yeah.
Oh, you're confused.
Yeah. Or it could be a situation where because you know how they treat old people.
I'm saying this. I'm speaking purely about the Occidental side of the world. I'm not talking about the other side of the world, because
there's a way that they treat old people in their retirement home.
Like
they're losing their mind when they're not. Trying to make out that you don't know what you're talking about when they're not, and because partly sometimes they want to be able to get the house they're living in. That happens. That's also a reason why they're doing things. And I'm thinking, if we live longer, then we're exposing ourselves to more of that.
I think there'd just be an understanding.
Like so you're in retirement homes for like 50 years. You see, because it's like...
this is horrible. Well, that's why I said to you, come 100, I'd be packing up and leaving. I'm not staying in Europe.
Yeah.
You're mad. I'm not staying in Europe for that. I'll be heading to Asia or Africa.
Yeah, because in Europe you've been in the Guinness...
book of records,
records, to say that you've been the longest living person in a retirement home.
No.
You stay there for. So how does it feel to stay in a retirement home for 50 years? Like that's a long time. And if that is the case, that's not worth it.
Nah, pass.
Yeah,
pass. I would leave. Leave. I wouldn't care what the security was like. I'd up.
Yeah.
I'd take my passport I'd be gone, mate.
What if it's absolutely you remain young? It's just that you die because you're around 200 years old.
I would have.
But your physical being is like absolutely you're so young. You look like you're only 40 years old.
I think that some people would take that upon themselves to say, okay, I'm going to get married so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think others would just take homage in the fact that they've been married for so long. I don't think things would change. So everything just depends on the person.
Yeah.
Because you can always look at the glass half empty or half full in any case.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
But it depends on what type of personality you have.
Yeah.
Because for me, it'd be an opportunity to be able to hand my kids down stuff like from ages, because I've got X amount of time to go and gain it back again if I have to.
Yeah, and you probably have more time to acquire things.
Yeah, and I would be like, I would be so much more laid back and I wouldn't panic about so many things, because I'd know that there'd be enough time to get these things done.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even half of the reason why people panic as well for their kids and this whole thing is because they're worried about them not being able to amount to anything. But if the pressure was off them amounting to anything by a certain age,
yeah,
it eases a lot more things. Everything starts unlocking.
So that all of a sudden, people will be maybe more acceptable that if you don't know what you want to do by the age of
15
or 15 years old, or
that's
even 20, you're still, searching.
That's perfectly okay.
Like,
is that always okay? You only started school 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean? And then they'd probably be more focused. By 13, you kind of know what you hate and what you don't hate.
Yeah.
At least that.
Yeah.
But you might not know, okay, I want to be da-da-da-da-da. But if you hung around, because here now, here it comes around, right? If you'd been hanging around with 100-plus-year-olds, they would have been able to hand you down some gems of wisdom.
True.
So by the time you're starting school, you've been hanging out for 3-4 years, even more, with 100-year-olds. So children would be wiser. Yeah,
do you think that people right now that are past 70 years old, 75 years old, let's say, or 80 years old, are doing what you're suggesting now?
Handing down pearls of wisdom?
Yeah.
No. What, where?
You don't think they do? Or is it because they're not listened to? Because how old they are?
What are they saying?
Because how old they are. And
what are they saying and where are they?
Thinking, what are you talking about, old man?
What are they saying and where are they?
The retirement home. True.
I think the ones who get heard are the ones that are part of the community still, and ones who are part of ones that are part of a family still. Yeah. If you grow up with your grandma around, you're gonna get information from her. If she's not there, you're not getting it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's just a matter of location at that point.
At this point, you're talking about great grandparents.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is really great. Did you know your great grandparent? Do you know your great grandparent? One of them.
One of them, yeah. But not for long, like maybe just 1-2 years, maybe, if I remember right. Yeah,
but you didn't meet her until you were a bit older, though.
Yeah. I met her. What was 7-8 years old.
So you had her for 2 years.
Yeah, I never was in a big conversation with her at all.
But what pearls of wisdom did she hand you down? From what
kindness. She was really kind to me.
See what I'm saying?
So yeah,
that's an essential there.
It is.
What?
Really.
That's an essential.
Yeah.
Well, there you go then.
Yeah, true.
Benefits.
Yeah.
Our kids got their great grandparent.
Yeah. For quite some time.
Ages.
Yeah. Except
the little one.
Yeah.
She didn't. She's not going to remember.
No.
But the other two,
she got pictures. So.
The other two, the
proper.
Christmases in there. Christmases.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Easters.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you see, that's how it goes.
Yeah, and even on your side as well, same thing.
On my side, I only got to meet my great-grandfather once.
Yeah, and...
that was it.
Yeah.
That was really it. It was unfortunate that I only got to see him once. And by the time I saw him, I was already 16 years old. So I could have had him in my life for 16 years.
Yeah.
If you think about it like that.
True, yeah.
But, the one time I did meet him, he just showed me a lot of love, care, and he said, you must eat your fruits. And I know it sounds so silly to say.
Yeah.
But that is so true.
But that's good.
He was like, you must eat your fruits.
Yeah,
no matter what.
How old was he?
95.
95 years old. Yeah, you know what he's talking about. At 95 years old, you know what he's talking about.
He was eating. He was devouring a mango when I met him.
Oh, wow.
He's like, go back. Firstly, he thought I was my mum, but he said, yeah, go back there and get something. It's in my room. And I walked into his room. His room was very simple, very minimalist.
It's usually the case.
Oh, I would love to have the setup he had. It was just clutter-free.
But you know what I think?
Just the essentials.
When you get older, I believe that you're getting rid of all the useless things you feel you need when you're younger. Because even Granddad didn't have a lot of things in his room.
No, he didn't. But I'm telling you, there's something to be be learnt there because he had a table and a chair and he had a piece of paper and a pen there. Yeah.
The
essentials. He had a bowl with some water at the side. Okay. And then he had a side table with, I think, a Bible on it. There was a book, and I'm guessing it's a Bible.
Yeah.
And then he had a clock there.
That was it.
Then his bed.
Yeah.
And at the bottom of his bed, he had a throw. That was it.
What more do you need?
Nothing.
Exactly. I mean, we just,
one chair was there in case he needed to pull up against the desk. And that was it. And then he had the 3 mangoes there.
Yeah.
3 mangoes. And he shared it with us.
Wow. Okay. That's really nice.
But he got into that mango. I was thinking, do you want me to... sorry. It was like that.
He had 95 years to eat the mango.
I don't know why, but you see them and you're like, oh my God, you're so sweet.
No, that's the Occidental world.
He's a grown-ass man.
This is how
he can peel his own mango.
This is how people act in the Occidental world.
That there would get me, and that's why I'm leaving up come a certain age. Don't talk to me like I'm your bloody child.
Yeah, but that's how people act here.
Nope. Won't have it. Not after 80. I won't take it anymore.
I'm not saying everyone act that way, but I know that it's an ongoing way to act over here.
That's the paid services you can expect.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
And I think that there definitely is space for retirement homes. There's different reasons why people are there. I think that there's people who never had children who don't have anywhere to go. I think that there's people who need extra care than just daily company. I think there's people who, whether you have dementia, Alzheimer's, whether you are, have a disability where you need to be taken care of and you need the extra care. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about systematically, as soon as you're a certain age, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And it happens. It's rife.
80 years old. That's usually...
Yeah. They start looking in your house like, listen, you need to make room for me.
And you know what they do, yeah? You reach 80 years old and you're like, let's see about your birthday. And they throw a big birthday.
Big bash.
It's
your going away bash.
And then,
au revoir.
Once that it's done, this is it.
Bon voyage, granddad.
Officially, you belong to the old people. That's just the way they...
I swear, I'll cut one of them with the butter knife.
No, I know. I'm not saying you.
I would.
Why?
I'd be there. I'd cut one of them with the butter knife if they ever proposed that for my birthday. Could you imagine them doing that for my birthday, babe?
Yeah.
I'd cuss. It would turn very left at the end. Be like, oh God, Mum's always been wild, but this took it to the next level. Don't suggest no home to me. I swear down.
Well, you know that I'm not in there.
This is the deal. We're breaking out.
Yeah, for real. But this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if we live longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people will try from 150 years old. Maybe before that.
I'd say just. I don't know. It works for a society who's willing to look after their old and live in harmony with their old, but it doesn't work for a society like this.
I think what it is that
where an old is seen as being a burden.
We will have a problem about employment, because if people live longer, we will have to. But mind you, now, because it means that you got more people in the world, and if you got more people in the world, then your economy is bigger. See, if your economy is bigger, it's proportional. I guess it's proportional.
I keep on saying more of us are going to have to be farmers.
I guess it's proportional. So yeah.
Everyone could get a job.
Yeah.
But if you don't create them, they won't be there.
True.
More mouths to feed, more coffees to be drank, there's more clothes to be had. Come on.
So we can conclude that it's a bad idea still.
I don't think, not in the setup, in today's setup, bad idea.
Yeah. So, but you don't think that will contribute to make us better? I
don't think it will contribute to make us better.
Even though you know that you personally feel that you would be more laid back and have a more zen approach to life, you don't think that people will feel the same way?
I would like to hope that people feel the same way, but I know also that I am a bit of an oddbod. So maybe everyone's going to be like, zen, karma, how,
Yeah.
But I would like to believe more people would feel that way.
People will be like, I'm not living it up to God. I've been waiting for 120 years for karma, and it's still not there.
Right?
So you think people will take matter in their hands?
They might, but you know, I just feel like there's an opportunity there, definitely, to be better. There's an opportunity there to grow socially and grow. Just take it to the next level.
Because the reality right now, they're trying to take us up all the way up to 150 years old.
I don't think they are.
Well, okay. The intentions behind technologies may be medicine. Maybe it's that, because don't forget that if we live longer, there's still more money for them. Because
they haven't got a way. They haven't found a way for us to stop retiring at the same age as we did after the war.
So you don't think they're taking us 250 years old?
No, I think these are privately owned companies who have their own agendas, and I don't think they're in line with everybody who's making policies.
Death being a part of their profit.
I think that control of the numbers is something that is a real thing in some people's minds, and in other people's they would never think about it. So it just depends who's making the policies.
Yeah,
that's what I think. But just the way that the recent things have been going, the value for life is pretty low, and I would just say that if an opportunity like this came through where we could be around longer, the good side to that is the fact that we would have older people around in order to give us more points of wisdom.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, I understand.
If we were willing to listen to them. But if the way we treat our old here now is any reflection of that, we wouldn't listen to them anyway. So for a society like this, I don't think it would work. But elsewhere in the world, I think it could work. Especially if they had their mobility. Yeah, it could work.
Okay, so you think that
culturally here it won't work.
So for some part some other part of the world, yes, but over here, no.
Yeah, that's the answer. Okay. That's my answer.
Okay, all right. No, I agree with that.
Well, let us know what you think. Let us know if you think it would be a good idea or a bad idea, and where do you think that society would be, or do you think it would be in a worse place or a better place if that was to happen? And chat it up in the comment section. Until next time, take care of your minds, your bodies, and your spirits.
Ciao.
Ciao.